welcome to Bruins Overtime Live, presented by BuyToyota.com. For offers not seen on TV, visit BuyToyota.com. In our Wasabi studios, Billy and Barry and Sophia here with you. 6-2 the final. The Ottawa Senators decisively win this one and the season series. 3-0-1 against them in 4 games. They are done until they meet maybe in the playoffs, guys, but they've had their number all season long already.
I know there's one win for the Bruins there. It was an extra session overtime, but or beg your pardon, 3-2. Regardless, they've owned them. They've had the vibe check over the Bruins. They seem to own the ability to dictate exactly how they want to play against the Bruins. And the Bruins don't seem to they haven't really had an answer outside of the one game.
No, they haven't, and I think specialty teams, you throw that in there too. I mean, they have dominated on the power play compared to the Bruins' opportunities. And I really thought from the get-go, Billy, walking in here, and we talked about it, the loss against Vancouver, we talked about how important these next 2 games were in the division to try and finish off a decent 5-game homestand. And Ottawa came in here. They played last night as well.
Oh, yeah.
And they came right in here, and right from the opening face-off, totally dominated this hockey.
To me, that's the most discouraging or disappointing thing, is that how the Bruins were not ready emotionally and fit to be physically invested. Like, mentally, you got to be ready to be physically involved. And they were not from the opening shift, literally. And the stars for Ottawa, the top guys, absolutely outplayed the Bruins' top guys.
Great segue, because our Subaru star of the game is a bunch of stars. So these are the top points producers for the Senators, and then you have at the bottom the Bruins in the season series. All of these guys tonight scored against the Bruins.
Tim Stützle has, you can lament some of his antics once in a while, dive a little bit, but he has dominated the Bees. Giroux's come through. I mean, now they get Tkachuk back. He's come through that top line. They all did their thing. Barry, here's literally the opening shift. And 8 seconds in, it's a bad play up the wall. The Bruins are lucky it wasn't 1-0 at 12 seconds in after that turnover. And then they start running around. There ends up being face-off. But we're going to show you more of the shift here. Look at the low to high, the rim around. This is exactly an absolute microcosm of what happened in the game. Winning battles on second and third efforts. Now you get into the offensive zone. Again, Ottawa goes to work. Touch pass to the middle from Jensen to Batherson, and he smokes it by Jonas Korpisalo. The Bruins never touched anybody in the middle of the ice.
No, remember the pregame when we were talking with Brick, how important, as we were all talking about this game tonight, how important it was going to be for the Bruins' top 6. Those first couple of shifts when the Bruins' top 2 lines went out, Ottawa just dominated them. And you could see from your highlights, Billy, that the Bruins were chasing. They were losing the battles. We had talked about how aggressive Ottawa was right from the opening faceoff. Every time the Bruins got a puck, man, there was no trap in the neutral zone. There was no nothing. They were right in your face all over the ice.
Billy, I forget how you describe Claude Giroux, because I don't want to do it disrespect, but not extra complimentary, did you call it?
Well, I say, no, he's more than complimentary, but he's that next level. He doesn't have to be the guy. You've got Stützle, you got Batherson, you've got Tkachuk.
He's been that guy before.
He's been that guy, and he accepts his role of he and like a David Perron are going to be incredibly valuable, high-level second-tier guys for this team. So their experience, their wherewithal, their veteran savviness, and evidently, Claude Giroux, one of the best trash talkers in the game, too.
Oh, yeah.
The battle down low, low to high, get bodies to the front, and then watch again the battle. This became a common theme. The kick pass over to Giroux was a thing of beauty. Watch the kick pass coming up here, Barry. Batherson's going to get up, right skate turn, punches it, kicks it over to Giroux, who just kind of muscles it in.
Yeah, and as you say, Billy, at one point he was the man, when he was in Philly especially, and he was one of those guys that, he could play the 200-foot game. He was good in the face-offs. He was good defensively. He was good on the power play. Well, now he comes to a team, to your point, he goes back home, right back to Ottawa, I guess, and now all of a sudden these young stars that are coming up, he's kind of, okay, I'm that complimentary guy. You know what? I'm just here to win now.
Right. Remember, when they brought him in a couple of years ago, he was still considered just at the end of his prime, but still in that prime.
Early 30s.
So right, early. So, exactly. So he was brought in to help mold these young players that are now accelerating and now have matured. And now, again, he's still playing a lot. It's not like he's not one of the power play guys. It's not like he's not at times taking heavy, important faceoffs, but they got so many other players It took him a while to get those
Yeah.
players, but they got him. So now he and Perron are like, we're just very happy to be here in our roles.
Yes. On the younger end, though, Tim Stützle getting a 17th of the season to start the second period.
Yeah, this situation where you were the Bruins, you scored late in that first. Billy made it 3-1. You go, okay, now can we get something going? Well, it didn't start any better the second period than it did the first period. There was a situation where they're just winning battle after battle, and all of a sudden the Bruins, Ottawa's got 3 guys down. They got to bring 5 guys down, and they still win the battle. And Stützle, not once, not twice, but the third effort of his gets through. And I think that was a really good example right there, Billy, of how the Bruins got dominated down low. 3 guys were outworking the 5 because the Bruins had to bring their forwards back down to help out because there were just too many opportunities.
Absolutely. They accordion in, and then they're scrambling out, and they just can't get reset. I mean, if you can't appreciate the work ethic, determination, and I think overall the physical strength, and this, I will give Stützle high marks there because sometimes, whatever he could be, he worked his butt off on that play there to go against a very good defensive forward in Pavel Zacha, and the third time to still work his stick free and then to get it and to quickly shoot it. It's a pretty darn good play. With that said, it's a Bruins show. It's not good Bruins team defense there.
No, it wasn't. And again, I think that was implemental of kind of the way the whole game went. Right from the opening face-off, you could tell from Ottawa. They came in here and you could tell they had on the blackboard, okay, boys, it's a good test. Let's see. We've gone, 3 in a row?
Yeah.
We're getting healthy. We want to try and get back into this race. We want to try and keep moving up. Well, guess what? These guys have been playing pretty well as well. Let's see how our test is. Man, did they pass the test?
They came in with a divisional rivalry mentality game, a must-win. And the Bruins might say that they know it was a must-win, but they sure didn't play like that early on. And I agree with you said earlier, Ottawa played yesterday at 5 o'clock.
Yep.
So they played last evening just like the Bruins did. So you can't use any excuse that it was unfair or that one.
Bruins top 6.
Okay, well, speaking of beating, big fight between 2 heavyweights, guys.
Mark Kastelik and McDermott. And McDermott,
big men, Bill.
First of all, I didn't have McDermott in the lineup. I was told he wasn't, then we saw that he wasn't, and then he comes in. Now, he is a huge man. He is more than willing to do all this stuff. Kastelik actually grabbed him away from getting after Zadorov, and Mark wanted him earlier in a shift, and both players gets him. And Mark's a big man, right? And he's a little smaller than McDermott. That's how big McDermott is out there. And those were heavy punches. Thankfully, everybody, at least I hope everybody's all right in this mix-up. But this was coming. This was percolating for a while, partner.
Yeah, and Jeannot, of course, goes with them a little later, right? So it's a situation where, McDermott knows his role, and that's why he's here. And you could see when he had the fight, he went to the penalty box, almost the whole Ottawa team came across the ice.
I've seen that before.
I don't know if I have either. He comes all the way across the ice, and they all per man kind of went way to go. It's kind of like, well, if I'm him, I'm sitting there going, okay, I'm doing my part. Are you guys going to help me out a bit here?
Right. There was a lot of chatter going on between these two teams. And the Bruins have guys that will chirp, and we know that Ottawa does between Tkachuk and Stützle and Giroux.
Yeah, but to me on the Bruins side, it's mostly frustration. Because as we talked about and showed the record and how Ottawa has dominated them, these guys, they know, they're pros. They look in the mirror and they go, oh, man, these guys got our number right now. And that frustration, I think, boiled over.
Well, it may have, but I think we need to see a little more of that stuff earlier in the game. Don't you agree? I mean, instead of allowing it to get to the frustration point, that physical engagement early on in the game. I keep going back, even more mental engagement early on in the game. I just don't think
Billy,
it was
the
there.
first 2 or 3 shifts set this tone for the whole game, didn't they?
Yeah.
Really did.